Hello, welcome to Learning Math by Examples. Today we're going to talk about linear equations. So let's give some definition. What are linear equations? So an equation that makes a straight line when it's graphed, it's called linear equation. They're usually in a simple form of y equal mx plus b, where m and b are constants and x and y are the variables. Let's see how we can solve linear equations. So let's start with a simple example. So we want to solve the following equation for x. 10 is equal to x plus b. Here if you see, we have different terms in our equation. We have variable terms and we have constant terms. So in order to solve for x, we need to simplify both sides of the equation. Here we can use a general rule that says you can add or subtract the same number to both sides of the equation and that equation will still stay in balance. So what we're going to do, we will subtract 5 here from both sides of the equation. So it will give us simply 0 on this side and 10 minus 5 becomes 5. So here we're going to have 5 is equal to 2x. We still need to simplify more to get x, and that needs to divide both sides of the equation by 2. So doing that, we're going to have 5 over 2 on one side and 2x over 2, which will simplify into 1x. So we can say x is equal to 5 over 2. Or if we want, we can just, simplify more into decimal, which is 2.5. Now let's look at a moderate example. Here we want to solve this example again. Solve this equation for x. Here we have some fractions that will make it a little more difficult. So again, we want to have all the variable terms in one side of the equation and all the constant on the other side. That's basically one of the rules. But instead of adding or subtracting the same constant to both sides, which will make the equation very busy, we can do another thing, which is basically the same thing. We can just move terms from one side of the equation to the other side, and just for doing that, we need to only change the sign of that term. So here we can keep the 2 over 3x, and then we can move 2x, which is our other variable terms, to the left side of the equation. The only thing that will happen is it becomes negative 2x. And that's the rule. So here we want to have all the constants. So negative 3 stays, and then the 5 over 6 becomes, to the other side, it becomes negative 5 over 6. Now that we have like terms on both sides, we can just add or subtract them. In order to add here, I have to make negative 2 into a fraction of 3, which is 6 over 3. And I made 3 into a fraction of 6, which is 18 over 6. So this way I can simply just add or subtract denominators. So I'm going to have 2 minus 6, which is 4 over 3x. And then I have negative 18 minus 5, which is negative 23 over 6. So now that I have only my variable on one side and my constant on the other side, I need to get rid of the negative 4 over 3 in order to find what x is. So I have to basically multiply both sides of the equation by negative 3 and divide both sides of the equation by 4. So to do that at the same time, I'm basically multiplying both sides of the equation by negative 3 over 4. Because negative 3 over 4 times negative 4 over 3 gives me 1. So I will be left with only x in one side. On the other side, I have to multiply. Here I can simplify the 1, the 3 and the 6 on denominator and denominator. The 3 becomes 1, 6 becomes 2. So negative 1 times negative 23 gives me 23, and then 4 times 2 becomes 8. So x becomes 23 over 8, which is the same as 2.875. Now let's look at a harder example. Here we're asked to solve the equation for y, and it says that the a and b are constants. So one thing that is different in this equation is that we still have non-simplified terms on one side of the equation. So the rule is first to simplify each side of the equation before we want to transfer any terms to the other side. So we're going to keep everything on the left side, and then here we're going to distribute the negative 2 into the parentheses. It becomes negative 2b, negative 2a. And if you look, we have two like terms on one side of the equation. So first we need to simplify that, and that actually becomes 0. 2a minus 2a just gives us 0. So we're going to be left with whatever we had on the left side, and we're going to have negative 6y plus b minus 2b. Now we can just transfer all the variable terms into one side, bring all the constant to the other side. So in order to do that, I'm going to keep 2y from here, and then I'm going to bring negative 6y, which becomes positive 6y. I'm going to keep 5 minus 2b, all the constants, and I'm going to bring all these constants from this side. Negative 3b becomes positive 3b, plus 5a becomes minus 5a. Now again, I can simplify out the like terms. I'm going to have 8y here. I'm going to have 5 minus 2b plus 3b becomes plus b minus 5a. Now in order to get y, I need to divide both sides of the equation by number 8. 8 over 8 becomes 1, and then I'm going to divide the whole thing in a parenthesis by 8, which after I distribute that into each terms, it becomes 5/8 plus 1 over 8b minus 5 over 8a. So, and that's as simple as it gets. Y is equal to a constant number, even though we don't know what a and b are, but we know they're constant, so basically the equation is solved for y. So let's just summarize what we said. In order to solve linear equations, the first step we want to take is to simplify each side of the equation by removing any parentheses or combining any like terms if we have. And after each side are simplified, then we're going to use addition and subtraction to basically bring all the variable terms to one side of the equation and bring all the constant to the other side. And after that, when we simplify those, we're going to use multiplication or division to solve for that variable. So basically dividing and multiplying both sides of the equation to the same number. So this was our video for solving linear equations. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you soon.